Hello guys, this is Pavel Oskora from Laravel Daily Team and YouTube channel Laravel Business, and also I'm a founder of QuickAdminPanel generator for Laravel, and this will be the topic of today's demo. Demo of our QuickAdminPanel generated code with calendar. So one of our customer asked how to customize that calendar, and I thought it would be a good idea to show you how to work with calendars in general. So this video won't be just about QuickAdminPanel, it would be QuickAdminPanel generated code, but I will explain how to work with FullCalendar IO library JavaScript. It's very simple, and then I will show you how to customize it to add a filter into calendar. So in our case, we have events and meetings both in one calendar as two different sources, and also there will be a filter of venue. And if we click, for example, venue town hall, it will filter, so add get parameter, which would filter events only in town hall. Or if we choose Siemens Arena, it would filter another event, but wouldn't touch the meeting. So this is a demo project which I will create throughout this video. First part will be generating by QuickAdminPanel, then I will explain the code itself, how it works, and finally we will customize the code to add this filter which is outside of QuickAdminPanel. Let's go. So here we are in our QuickAdminPanel dashboard, and I will show you how our system calendar module works. So we will create a project with a calendar and with two sources. We call them sources. So for example, you have events and you have meetings, and you want to build a calendar with both of them on that. They're kind of the same but different because events belong to venue, for example, concerts or sport events. And meetings have different fields, have like attendees or place or something like that. But they both should belong on your one calendar. So how would it work? The first step of this video will be how does it work in QuickAdminPanel. Then I will generate the code and explain how it works in Laravel code. And then we will build a filter on top of that to filter the events by venues. So let's go. We go to modules section, and we install, this is the one, System Calendar. System Calendar then shows a new menu item called Calendar Sources, and then you add as many sources as you want. So for example, we add events and a few more fields. So which field represents the date, and we have start time for that, and we go event, label field will be name, and suffix we don't need that. So on the calendar we will show event and then event name. So we save the first source, and then we'll add another source, which is meetings. Also start time as the date represented field, and then we'll have meeting with, and there is a field called attendees. Right. We save that, and then that's it. We can download the code. I will download the code locally, add some data for events and meetings, and show you how it works in the code now. Okay, so I've downloaded the project, run composer install, artisan migrate fresh with seeds, and also entered some data. So locally I have two events, one in different venues, so one is in town hall, one is in Siemens Arena, and also one meeting with just random attendees, Tom and Jane. And here's our calendar. It contains all three events, and this is how it looks in the code. So I have system calendar controller, this URL, and it goes to system calendar controller, which has sources. Sources is a property of the controller itself. It could be a variable inside of the function, that's not that relevant. And then we have for each of the sources, and then we kind of we make a variable from the model, which is app event. As you can see, one source is app event and field start time, and then app meeting is another source, model start time. And it has different fields of event name or meeting attendees, but it all comes together into one array. So we get the original value of date field. If it's empty, we don't take that. And here's the array that we need to actually pass into the blade. So we have events, and every event has title, start time, and URL to edit that. And in the calendar blade, which is this one, so we call calendar blade with events as array, we see this. And this is really almost empty. So we load FullCalendar CSS and FullCalendar JS. We use FullCalendar.io library for that. And we just load empty div with ID calendar, and then launch the FullCalendar itself, passing the events as array And events is just a JSON encoded PHP array of events. So if you look at the source of this, it doesn't look really pretty, but it does the job. So this is the events array of objects with title, start, and URL each. You can put more variables there, but this is the essence how it looks. So this is what we generate as a system calendar module to save you time. Now let's make an experiment and add a filter. So on top of calendar, let's put a venue, for example, in the controller. So we have venues would be equal venue all, and we'll pass that into the blade venues. And then in the blade, let's do it, so inside of that card body, let's have a form which would point as action to the same route. From my memory, I think route's called admin system calendar. Method would be get as a parameter. It would come with get parameters. And then let's go venue and do select venue, name venue ID. By default, option will be all venues. So option value empty, all venues. And then for each venues, we populate all the variables. So for each venues as venue, all the options will be inside of it. And for each, let's have some alignment. Okay, and we have option with value venue ID and text venue name, and then we have a submit button. So button type submit filter. Let's add some class button small, that's bootstrap classes, and button primary filter. Let's refresh and see how it looks. So yeah, we have all the venues with drop-down and with filter, which if we choose that, it will refresh the whole page with parameter, hopefully. Yeah, so have venue ID equals 1, but we don't have any filter implemented yet. But first, let's make that thing active, so selected. So if venue ID equals 1, then we make that select. So if request venue ID equals venue ID, and we'll make it as selected. To make it more readable, let's put it on another line. So here, this should be select the town hall, or if it's all venues, it should be empty, and or by default, if we just click on calendar, we have all venues. Great, so we choose town hall, and now we need to filter only the events in town hall, and also don't touch meetings. So we show all meetings and events from that venue. And venue is a venue ID field in events table. But how do we do that? Because we have sources into one array, which is not really extendable easily. So instead of doing source model all, we do calendar events equals source model get instead of all, and for each calendar events. And this part we will customize a bit. So we will have calendar model, and then there's eloquent lesson for you, I guess. It's when. It's a dynamic query thing. So we have when condition. So when we have a request venue ID, if it's present, then we have a callback function query as a parameter. And then if we have venue ID, we add to the query, so return query where venue ID equals request venue ID get. And I think that's it. That's all we need to know. So if we have venue ID, it will load venue ID, and we will get probably an error because our meetings don't have venue ID. Let's refresh, and we'll probably get call not found venue ID in meetings. So we have to have another when query. So model when request and source model equals app event, probably with 1 backslash. We save that and we refresh the page, and let's see if it works. And it does work, so we filtered only the events that we actually want. So if we choose Town Hall, choose Siemens Reader instead, the other one should appear. Or if we choose all venues, which makes venue ID empty, both should appear. So this is an example how you can filter some data and customize the source with eloquent kind of magic. When instead of when, you can actually do if statements, so create a model and then create query builder, and then if request exists, then you add some functionality, but this is kind of a shorter way to do the same thing. So I hope it was helpful. I will probably put that project on GitHub. Not sure if it's actually valuable, but you never know. Maybe you will follow that tutorial. And yeah, try QuickAdminPanel. Maybe that resonated with you. Or follow other tutorials on this channel. Follow this YouTube channel. Hit the bell button to be notified of new videos. And see you guys in other videos.